What is going on, guys? How's it going today? Welcome back to another flipping and money making live stream. I'm your host with the most, Scapenomics, and guys, let's make some bank today. Now, of course, we did miss streaming on Monday this week. Can I get an F in the chat for that one? But I will do my best to make up for the profits on this stream today, although we are getting some mixed reviews in the chat here saying the market might be a little bit tough to handle today. We're going to do our best, get our hands around it, and try to make some bank. And of course, if you guys enjoy this live stream at any point in time, definitely drop a like. It really does help me out a lot. Now, we are at 2,140,000,000 gold today. That's pretty much the typical amount I work with on these streams. And again, we're just going to take a look at some margins, see what's looking good here today, and try to make some bank. And let me know if the music is too loud, by the way. I'm trying to balance that out correctly. We do always have a couple of audio issues, so definitely would like to know, make sure everything sounds crystal clear and is balanced correctly. Very important to my stream. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull up some items here, see what's looking good, and crack on into it. Now, it does look like the Twisted Bow is looking like a decent flip here today, actually. So I do want to go ahead and get a Twisted Bow listed. Now, if you guys know, we always flip the Twisted Bow. I mean, if you've been in one of these live streams before, we're always putting the Twisted Bow up there to flip it, and it instantly bought on us. A really bad start today to the stream, guys. An immediate F right away, dude. We have Jay popping in as well. Good to see you, Jay. We also have Drawing in the chat, Thomas and Lake. Good to see all of you guys as well. Now, of course, we're starting off today with a very, very tough situation right off the bat here. Instant buy on the Twisted Bow. Definitely not what I expected, but we're going to go back and list that. We should be able to sell it back. I wonder if we go back in for another Twisted Bow. Probably won't do it. We'll probably just try to get this one off for now and try to move into some other items while we wait. Now, the Dragon Hunter crossbow is going to be the next item that we attack today. Now, I really like flipping the Dragon Hunter crossbow because it's one of those medium volume items. It's actually on like the higher volume end for such a high sought out PVM item, right? So I really do like flipping the Dragon Hunter crossbow and the Dragon Hunter lance because I do find that the volume on them is very, very good, and you do have a decent amount of control when you are flipping this thing actively. Now, we did get that Twisted Bow off extremely quick, so I'm going to actually cycle back in for a cheaper price here. Try to get another one bought and sold, hopefully very, very quickly. I was very shocked to see how fast that Twisted Bow went and, I guess, bought and sold. I mean, that was incredibly, incredibly quick. Now, we did take a 58k loss on that, but we did escape a dangerous situation, so I'm very happy about that. Now, we are going to do the Armadillo crossbow as well. Now, they are showing very good margins here today. It's almost like they're unrealistic margins, though. I don't know if these items are going to hold. And already, I can see that the Dragon Hunter crossbow has already moved in margin on us. So we're probably going to stay away from that here for a minute. I actually will relist this Dragon Hunter crossbow, but we're going to go a little bit under margin. Try to catch some of that extra supply that I do expect to be sold back onto the exchange here. And look at that. We instantly bought one. We're going to keep that offer in there as well because I do think we're the only ones currently competing for that, and I do want to see if we can actually sell these back for an increased price. We might have control over this margin here, so we'll see how that goes, and we'll try to get another Twisted Bow as well, like I said, and we'll try to get in on the Scythe of Vitur as well. I do want to get one of these Scythe of Viturs going. You guys know I'm always flipping the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Vitur, and a lot of you guys also ask, like, Scapenomics, why do you flip only the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Vitur? Like, what's your reasoning for that? Well, these are fairly safe PVM items to flip that are very expensive and that hold decent margins. Now, I'm not saying they are necessarily the best PVM items to flip, but they do have a lot of supply that's actively traded, and they do have decent margins as well. That's why I like to do them. The Scythe of Vitur and Twisted Bow usually don't go on huge price runs. I mean, they can, especially overnight. They can go up, you know, 20, 30 mil, but active flipping, sometimes you can catch them at a bad time or you can catch them at a good time for a gain of like 2 or 3 or a loss of 2 or 3 mil or so, right? So I think that's important to keep in mind. It's a lot less risky than something like the Inquisitor Mace or the Harmonious Orb, where the volume's a little bit lower, the item's not in as much demand, and while you can get bigger margins on those items, the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Vitur, really healthy volume on those, definitely enough to compete on the item without too much trouble. Now, I do want to go raise the price on this Twisted Bow a little bit. I just saw a price update come through for that Twisted Bow, which means we're going to cycle back in for a little bit higher in price, try to pick up one of those. Anyway, I've been neglecting the chat. Welcome, everybody, to the live stream today. It really helps me out a lot. Floor Tile says, we making this 2 hours with Zero Escape? We'll see. I mean, I'm actually freaking starving, okay? I didn't eat today. I had a little bit of lunch, but, like, not that much, and I really need to eat something. So if I've got the energy, I'm going to keep going. If the market's looking really juicy, I'll keep going as well, but I'm not going to force it, but we will make up that extra hour. Don't you worry, Floor Tile, and we'll see if we do it today. We also have OSRS Clusa saying, hey, Scape, I was going to warn you about the Twisted Bow. Very uncharacteristic crash happening to it right now. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, we're going to try to get in on it, flip the situation here, and every time you have a lot of volume, don't forget that that is a good sign for the item, right? If there's a lot of volume on an item, it means the price is either going to swing up or down very, very rapidly, and that means you're going to make some bank. Or lose some bank. Really, yeah, depends on when you get in. We have Drew S saying, how's it going? Good to see you, Drew. We have Saints fan as well saying, what up? Good to see you, Saint. Thank you for tuning in today. Guys, we're just cracking into the session here today, so please excuse me while we find these good margins to get in on today to make a little bit of extra cash. And by the way, guys, if you haven't dropped a like on this video yet, definitely go ahead and do that. I guess it's more of a live stream, right? But definitely go ahead and drop a like. We did get a Twisted Bow coming in here. Very, very nice. It's going to be a little bit sketchy to turn this thing around. I think we're going to have a little bit of trouble doing that here today, but we will secure a very small margin on it to start, and maybe we'll try to get back in cheaper. If we are talking about how this Twisted Bow is crashing and how it might be coming down a lot in price, there's definitely something to keep in mind. I'm going to go over to the OSRS wiki as well and pull up the graph on the Twisted Bow. I want to see where we are in retrospect to where this thing has been moving all day, and if we're in a bad situation or not already on the Twisted Bow this early in the stream. We're going to do our best to make some bank though, you guys. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Holy moly. A total flash crash on the Twisted Bow. Looks like within like the last hour, we're having this Twisted Bow down about 20 mil. Really interesting. Going to be a lot of volume on that today. We'll see if it goes in our favor or maybe even betrays us. We'll have to see. I always like playing out these situations because they are very risky, but can make you some bank. So we'll see if we can get that Twisted Bow back off for the higher price that is currently shown on the wiki as far as the margin goes. It does look like we did get it off though, and I would like to try to get back in on one for actually a lot cheaper here. It does look like the margin is being traded downwards, so that means we might be able to fill a cheap offer here and possibly ride the hype back up. We're going to have to see, but we're going to secure that 382k on the Twisted Bow right off the bat. Again, really bad margin on the Twisted Bow, but we are kind of covering ourselves from a risk perspective at this point. So don't worry, we'll get another one flipped for a decent bit of GP. Don't you worry. And we also have this Grazi Rapier as well. We're going to turn around and sell this really easily. Should go without too much trouble here. Decent little margin on that, a little bit over 100k. Now, we do have these Dragon Hunter crossbows as well. I would like to turn those around here and just sell them back. We did get a Scythe of Vitur as well. Lots of items coming in here today. Lots of volume, it seems like. So let's go ahead and turn this thing around here. And it does look like the Scythe came down a little bit in margin on us. I'm not going to accept that, though. We're going to list it for above margin here and see if it comes back in our favor as well. Not happy about how much profit we're going to get on that Scythe if we were to list it at the active margin. So let's hope it swings back up in our direction. I do think that is very likely, considering the margin just moved, and I think it's probably just a temporary movement. We shouldn't have to worry about it too much. Now, I would like to go back and list these Dragon Hunter crossbows here. They've been sitting for quite a minute, and we'll put them in for a little bit less than the active margin here, since we did get in pretty cheap. We did get that Grazi off as well. Super simple flip on that. We'll go back in for another one. Whew. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the stream, guys. I'm so sorry I missed the stream on Monday. Some personal stuff came up, had to take care of it, but we are back live flipping today, guys. And let's see, lots of comments coming in here today. We have the Wittyish popping back in again. Good to see you again, man. He said, I started doing some flips 2 weeks ago. Didn't think it was getting much until I looked at my monthly profit. 5.2 million GP. Not amazing, but still not bad for me. Thanks, Scapenomics. Of course, man. And honestly, like, so I'm happy because now you see the potential of flipping and how much you can actually make in the long run from flipping, and just continue to grow that skill set, man. Continue to work on those flipping techniques. Keep flipping items, keep trying out new items overnight, and honestly, that 5 mil a month profit, it will soon turn into 100 mil profit. I'm telling you, it really is. It's once you get into it, man, you'll see the power of flipping, and it already seems like you've gotten a glimpse at it. Tafoi says, can you flip something not expensive? I got the best bank, got 3 mil. If you're flipping with 3 mil, it's probably not really worth your time. Usually on this channel, I recommend people start flipping with about 10 mil. If you have 10 mil in your cash stack, then you're actually going to be able to learn how to flip and see somewhat the benefits of flipping. And I would definitely recommend starting with 10 mil. Just makes your life a lot easier. If you don't have that money on hand currently, try doing some PVM stuff, maybe some Slayer, maybe some looting. Just try to get anything that you can, or get your hands on anything you can do, really. Honestly, that would be my biggest recommendation. Now we have Saintsman saying, I saw this on Reddit earlier. A major bot nuke would cause the price of resource items to skyrocket, and everyone would hate that. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? I mean, the only statement I agree with is bots should be banned. Bots should be banned sooner and faster, and the Jagex team should be on top of it. I mean, the items should just be, you know, market price on the economy. So obviously, if the supply goes down, the item, the price of the item is going to go up as long as demand stays the same. Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me as far as that goes. I just don't want any bots in game, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. Now, we have OSRS Clusa saying, Scape, it's been a rough 48 hours on the exchange. The bread and butter flips are not working well. Tried to warn you about the bows. People are dumping, brother. We did get a little bit of profit on that. It actually looks like it is stabling out here in the short term, at least, Clusa. We might have been able to get a little bit more on that last Twisted Bow here, and I do see the margin on that Twisted Bow hiking back up in the north direction, so we'll keep a close eye on it. We'll see if it keeps coming down, but definitely some resistance on it in the short term, and it does look like it did hit bottom price. I'm actually going to cycle back up on this Twisted Bow right now. The offer just went up another like 2 mil from where we sold it, so we actually mistimed that one incredibly bad. So we're actually going to go back in and try to get one for a lot more expensive, maybe. That's a little bit risky, not going to lie. This is a little bit risky of an offer, but I am going to go for it. I'm going to get in on it. We'll see what happens. Hope you were able to sort out the personal stuff. Don't worry, J-Man. All sorted, bro. Don't you worry. Let me focus a little bit on the flips here, guys, but thank you for being so active in the chat today. Definitely drop a like if you are enjoying, guys. It really helps me out a lot. Oh, I wanted to ask, what did you guys think of the new video that I put out today? Honestly, I thought the video, I spent a lot of time trying to make it a quality video, so I hope you guys liked it. Let me know if you did like it. If it's not that good or it didn't work up to your standards, also let me know. Now, that passive investing strategy that I talked about in that video is something that I've been working on for about the past month or so. I've been trying to figure out a good strategy where you can just kind of park money on an alt account and make money without really having to put too much effort in. So you log in like every week, every 2 weeks to just check on the items. And I think that strategy for me has been working really, really well. Now, I wouldn't say I've been making a bank off of it yet, but I could easily see that being one of my top money makers if I scaled it across multiple accounts. So I am thinking about doing a larger operation on some of those items. And another thing that I was thinking as well is I do need to keep researching more items for that, I guess, moneymaker in a sense, because now that I exposed that video, I think a lot of people are going to start flipping those limestone bricks, those marble blocks that I was talking about. So I'm going to do some research, see if I can find some more shop items that I think might be a little less known about and try to make money off those that way. But of course, guys, the content always comes first before my in-game gold. I feel like I have enough in-game gold, but there's no problem in getting a little bit more, am I right? Tomas says, the only bots I'll miss are the ones that were farming adamant bars and were making 88 to 99 smithing profitable. We have John Wallace saying, love the videos, man. The guy was messaging me. The guy was messaging me today about the video you posted, the items you posted, I guess you'd say. I do apologize for exposing anyone's moneymaker that was not hoping that it would get exposed, but I couldn't help it, man. You know, I had to make a video. It was a strategy I found completely organically as someone brought that Grand Exchange trick to me, and then I kind of implemented it myself. I had seen similar videos in the past, but I think it was mostly different from what most people had put out in regards to that. Now, again, we are trying to flip this scythe here. We do need to keep in mind that it is actually coming down in margin on us. So it looks like a lot of our items here today are struggling a little bit from a profit standpoint. Hopefully, we can get at least a 500k margin on this scythe today. Try to get out of that. Now, the Twisted Bow is looking a little bit iffy as well, not going to lie. We will leave the offer in, though. We'll see what happens to it. All love, man. Thank you, John, man. Do appreciate it. Tomas says, one passive item I like doing is Ultra Compost. That is an item I'll have to look into myself. Definitely looks like there might be some opportunity on that. I have to take a look at the volumes, though. We have Monteras as well popping in. Good to see you, Monteras. He says, hey man, how are you doing? I ended up coming a bit later, but here I am. Glad to see that your positivity is still here. Every stream, man, we're just positive. We're trying to take over the Grand Exchange. We're trying to make a couple bucks while we're doing it, man. So thank you for tuning in. Do appreciate it, and welcome to the stream. Let's make some bank today, guys. OSRS Clusa says the scythe had a very sharp upturn today. Honestly, I've been very out of tune on the markets because I didn't flip yesterday at all. I didn't really flip that much this weekend. I was like doing some personal stuff, so I didn't really play RuneScape that much. I'm really out of tune on the markets. This is my first time flipping this week, but bam, we slapped it on the Twisted Bow. Let's get it. I knew if we just had a little bit of patience on that bad boy, we would be able to get a nice one flipped there, and that's definitely going to be the case here. We're going to go back in on another Twisted Bow, try to get another one bought and sold, and see if we can make some bank on it, guys. Very, very happy about that. Definitely trying to dominate that Twisted Bow here today in this flipping session. It is working out very well for us. We do need to be careful of our price listings, though. Always something you want to monitor when you are flipping in this active meta. Definitely very important. Now, we're going to list this Arcane Spirit Shield back. That actually made us a little bit of money as well, so I would like to list another one of these. We're actually going to list this one a little bit lower than our previous buy price. Try to pick up a couple cheap ones, right? We'll see if that's going to work out for us. Unfortunately, we can only buy another one of these. 135 mil sitting on the sidelines in the meantime. We have Jay Hefner saying, I definitely recommend to put in big buy offers during Twitch Prime events and collect 3 months later. Absolutely, but you have to keep in mind when you set these offers on alternate accounts, you do need to log on to them I believe it's every 2 weeks for the offers to keep buying up, right? So they don't have to have membership, but you do need to keep buying them every 2 weeks or so. Just keep that in mind. My man defied the odds on the Twisted Bow. I don't know if it's defying the odds. I think it's just a very skilled flipper. You know me. Come on. No, we did definitely get a little bit lucky on that one. We'll see if we can snag another one, though, here in the short term. We're going to knock the buy offer up just a tiny, tiny bit to be a little bit more competitive off our last buy price. Definitely something that is worth your time. When you are trying to chase an item, right? An item is showing a really good margin. You want to chase that a little bit farther. We're definitely taking a little bit more risk as of right now. Oh my goodness, we have a B Stoker coming in with the $2. I'm sure the donation will pop up here in a minute. B Stoker, thank you for the 2 super chat dollars, man. Do appreciate it. Another Twisted Bow coming in as well, guys. Really solid right now. Really, really enjoying this session right now. I mean, it was looking a little bit iffy to start. Now, we are looking at the Scythe of Atur, which is not trending in the direction that we were hoping for. So I really don't know what to do about that one. We're going to hold it for a little bit longer, see if it possibly comes back up in price. We'll have to see. But B Stoker, man, thank you for the $2, dude. Do appreciate it, man. Now, look, a little bit of old school RuneScape money, a little bit of real life money. It's all in good fun, man. Anyway, we have John Wallace saying, any other ideas on passive flips? Thought about Zulrah Scales. You know, that's a different kind of investment, right? That's not really a passive flip because Zulrah Scales are an active item on the market. Now, if you listen like to this video on the strategy behind this passive flipping that I would like to recommend is you're tying your buy offers to shop items specifically, right? Now, that's why it works so well on the limestone and the marble blocks because a lot of people exploit those shops to actually make profit, considering that you can buy limestone brick from the shop for like 25 GP, I think, and you could sell it back to the Grand Exchange for like, I think it's like at the minimum like a 200 gold, right? So or 145 in the video's case. So I think people exploit that. And then the people who are the market makers who have a little bit more patience, they just wait and they buy up all that insta-sell supply, and then they sell it back later for even larger gains. And it's just kind of the supply. That's the circle of life in the RuneScape economy, okay? And I really think that's the best way to tackle these things. You definitely want to flip items that have lower volumes and are tied to shop items. That's where the strategy shines. I wouldn't recommend doing it on any other items. Hopefully that makes sense, and definitely, guys, drop a like if you are enjoying so far. But let's find some more items here. We're going to cut back on the Arcane Spirit Shield for now. We'll try to get the Arcane Spirit Shield sold off, the one that we do have, and we'll just be very patient on that. We'll keep a close eye on the Twisted Bow margin as well. We don't want that running away from us. We might actually knock this last one down a little bit here. just try to get it off. I don't want to hold on to this twisted bow for too long, considering the volatility. When there's a lot of volatility, you can get really good margins, but at the same time, if things don't go in your favor, that twisted bow is going to come right down in price, and unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit tough for us to make a profit if it is trending downwards when we do have one in our hands. Now, I would like to go in on the Kodai wand here, and then we're going to adjust our Grazi Rapier margin. The Kodai wands are actually a pretty solid flip. Again, it's kind of one of those medium volume items. It's not as commonly sought out as a lot of this other stuff. So we'll try to get some Kodai wands here, see if we can make some money. Haggard says, why don't you show the exact number? Was someone griefing you? Good to see you, Haggard, man. Thank you for tuning in today. Yes, so basically when we started streaming, we used to like really not cover our margins, but then the streams they just got a little bit too popular, man. And then what we had to do was cover the margins. Now, of course, with real-time prices, people can look up the margins, but not having them on screen helps out a little bit. And we have John Wallace coming in with the $4 over on the super chat side over on YouTube, man. John, dude, thank you so much, man. Seriously appreciate it, guys. I did not expect these donations today. Really appreciate it. I'm sure it's going to pop up on screen really, really quick here. Thank you so much, man. Seriously, do appreciate that. And let me know, guys, what you've been flipping today. Let me know how the market's been for you. It seems like definitely a mixed review on the market today. We had a couple people saying things weren't really working out well for them. Now we have some people saying that things are working out for them, and it's a really interesting situation all around. But again, John, thank you for the $4, man. Do appreciate it. Let's make some bank today, guys. Now, we're actually following that twisted bow down. It looks like it's actually coming down on us here. I don't want to panic sell it, but we still are in a profitable range on the twisted bow as of right now. So we'll try to get this one off here, see how it goes. And that scythe is actually coming down pretty aggressively as well. So I'm hoping I can get that twisted bow off. Maybe get a cheap scythe here. Try to sell off the one we have for, it could be like a 1 mil loss actually, which would be a little bit sad. But I do want to try to get out of this scythe as quickly as possible because it's not really looking good on it. And it's not something I want to bag hold for the rest of the stream, right? So we'll try to keep a close eye on that one. Hopefully we don't walk it down too far in margin here, and hopefully we can get that twisted bow off as well, because we'll if we can't get this twisted bow off, we just have so much risk on our hands, right? And it's looking a little bit dangerous in that regard. So I do want to knock down this Grazi margin as well. We still are profitable on that. I just need to knock it down, try to get it off, and move into another item. Oh my goodness, John with another $4. He says, feeling it today, man. Keep on. Thank you, John, dude. Do appreciate it. We're going to try to make some money today, guys. You know how it is. But we do have a lot of risk on the table right now, right? We have the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Vitur, very expensive items, both currently on a short-term downtrend on us. Hopefully, we can actually get these things off. Hopefully, we can see a little bounce in the price on these things and see if we can make a little bit more money on it. But there's John's second donation with $4, $8 total. John, man, thank you so much, dude. Seriously, do appreciate it. And thank you for supporting the stream today financially and, of course, with your viewership as well. Welcome, everybody, to the stream today. Definitely drop a like if you are enjoying, guys. It really does help me out a lot. Be sure to join us on Discord as well if you're not with us already. We have a Discord dedicated to teaching people how to flip and make money in old school RuneScape. So if you're not in there, you're missing out on a big portion of the channel. Oh my god, this Scythe, man, is coming down really fast on us, guys. It's going to basically kill our profit here on the session. I mean, this is absolutely incredible, the price swing that we're currently holding this onto. But luckily, we got that twisted bow off. Definitely going to go in on this Scythe here. I do see a potential flash crash on the Scythe here in the very short term. So I'm going to position myself so I have an offer there to catch that flash crash, and we'll see if it happens. I mean, it might not happen, but right now, we're currently seeing the Scythe drop about, I don't know, a mil every 3 minutes or so, I would say is the average. 300k a minute is currently, I mean, that's just like an estimate, but that kind of looks like what's happening here. So I'm a little bit scared about the site that we do have on hand, but hoping to get back in for a cheaper offer and kind of balance that risk out a little bit. I think that's honestly the best way to flip some of these more expensive items, especially the ones with a little bit less volume, guys. I think I sold that right. Yeah, we sold that right. Yeah, wait, what? Okay, we made HEP on the Kodai ones. No, we didn't. Why do I mess it up every session, guys? Freaking, can I get an F in the chat, dude? Oh my goodness, man. Every session, I mess up an item these days, man. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Let's get back in on some of these other items here. We'll do the Armadillo chestplate. Now, these are looking actually really, really nice right now. We have had a little bit of trouble in the past with the Armadillo chestplates. It's not an item that really comes easy to us. Honestly, we struggle with this Armadillo chestplate a lot. So I would like to cycle in on this for quite a decent price here. Try to fill in a quantity of 8 of them and see if we can go from there. Anyway, we have a lot of action in the chat today. Welcome, everybody. We have Lighter YouTube saying, how much money do you guys have? I have about 3 bill total. I think that's where I am, at least. We have Nico West saying, hey, how's my favorite only esports RuneScape commentator? Doing well, man. Thank you so much. We did kill a little bit of our gains here on a 950k loss on the Scythe, but at least we have some profit on the Twisted Bow, guys. We got to make some money back on that stuff here. Now, we are positioned on the Scythe very, very cheaply. It does look like someone's actually dumping the Scythes, but someone might be catching these dumps here. Not entirely sure. I don't know. I don't know how to play this one. This is really not an easy play right now. We'll cycle in for a little bit cheaper, but we're still way under margin. Or sorry, a little bit more, but we're still way under margin on that. So, something to keep in mind here. It's a really tough situation to play, right? Because you want to get back in at a cheaper price, obviously, if the item is crashing. But if an item is going to continue crashing, then you obviously don't want to get in yet. Now, at the same time, if I jump the gun and get in too early again, we're just going to have more losses. So I'm really trying to play it very, very safe as far as this next Scythe of Atur goes. And I think that is honestly the best way to play this situation. Since we did sell that one off, though, we will go back in for another Twisted Bow, which again is coming down aggressively in price. We're going to position ourselves very cheap again on that next Twisted Bow. So Scythe of Atur, Twisted Bow, we're very, very cheap on those right now. Trying to get a deal on those to make some extra bank here. And there's definitely potential behind that. Scythe of Atur and Twisted Bow looking very volatile today. See if we can make a little bit of money on some of these price fluctuations back and forth. Now, I do want to get back in on these Armadillo chest plates, but we're currently on margin for those, and we've had no luck getting any of them off. Also, we do want to sell off this Arcane Spirit Shield. The margin on that is coming down as well, but the sell price is still good. We still should be making some money on that last one. And I would actually like to maybe get in on another Arcane Spirit Shield just because they do look really cheap right now. So it would be a shame to miss that the second time around as well. Nico West says, is there a link to your YouTube stream? Not in the chat, but you can go on YouTube and just search Scapenomics, and I'm sure the live stream will pop up right away, man. The only one thing that I've been doing is buying all of an item, then selling them to sell, or raising the price on them to be very high, and then dumping the load afterwards. That is something that you can do. It is a little bit risky because, you know, first of all, it requires a lot of gold, right? A lot of capital you need to do that. And second, if someone has a large supply themselves that they've been holding on to, they could be selling that to you when you are buying it all up, right? So someone could exit, like on top of you. Like there's always like, who's the bigger fish? And sometimes it comes to a capital standpoint, and sometimes it's from a timing standpoint. So yes, it is a valid strategy, and it's technically not against in-game rules because it's only against in-game rules when multiple people participate in an item merge. That is when you're breaking the rules under item manipulation, but if you are doing it on your own on one account, there's no problems there. Whew. Anyway, guys, trying to make a little bit of bank here today. 1.8 mil so far in the session, currently averaging about 4.7 mil per hour here. A little bit unlucky on that Scythe of Atur, unfortunately, and hopefully we don't miss the price run up back upwards, but we are listed pretty low on that. We'll see if we can get a little bit of money on this next one here. You never know, though. You never know. And we need to keep a close eye on that Arcane Spirit Shield as well. Don't want that to come down on us. Let's try and get in on that Spectral, too. Looks pretty decent right now as well. Currently looking at about a potentially 100k margin on the Spectrals. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but definitely looks very appealing. YouTube is more me. Thank you, dude. Of course, Nico Vlogs, man. Thank you for tuning in today as well. And welcome to the YouTube side of things over here on the Scapenomics channel, man. And we did get the Arcane Spirit Shield off as well. Keeping a close eye on the Twisted Bow, which is still coming down in price. We also have the Scythe of Vitur. We're trying to hunt that as well. Keeping our listings very, very conservative here. Now, it does look like the Scythe of Vitur potentially is going to come back up in price here. So we're actually going to relist for about, still underneath the margin, still slowly hiking that margin up. I don't want to get in too high again and then really get crushed, because honestly, we cannot afford another Scythe loss in this session. Would totally make it unprofitable, but we are positioned correctly on the Twisted Bow dump as well. So I think right now we're very, very good in the position we're looking at. I do want to say, though, we do need to get out of these Armadillo chest plates. We'll find something else that's going to trade a little bit quicker. It's going to bring us some easier cash, and we'll just go from there. Try to find something decent, though. Let's try the Ceridome Godsword. Not an easy flip to do actively. Actually, Ceridome Godswords are a really solid overnight. They are very stable, but still have decent price fluctuations. But are they're stable from a long-term price point, long-term price standpoint. They are very stable, but overnight they do have a decent bit of fluctuation. And honestly, I capitalize on it a lot. It's probably one of my most common overnights is the Ceridome Godsword. Just from a consistency standpoint, always gets me to come back, man. Dragon Crossbow, maybe. I'm probably not going to flip the Dragon Crossbow. A little bit too competitive for the cash stack that I have. Dragon Hunter Crossbow might be decent, but we already kind of attacked a few of them today. So we'll be patient on the... Actually, we can do another Dragon Hunter Crossbow. It wouldn't be my first preference here, but I just think it's a little bit too inconsistent right now, that Dragon Hunter Crossbow. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, hopefully you are doing well today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Do appreciate it on this lovely Wednesday evening. Halfway through the week, guys. Good time to make some bank. 1.8 mil, definitely getting a little bit stale on this session. Again, trying to hunt some cheap items here. Always good to get a deal on the Grand Exchange when you can, right? So that's what we're looking for here. It definitely is some price resistance on that Twisted Bow at about 1,046,000,000. I'm trying to get in for a little bit under that, but I still cannot get my offer filled. So clearly some buy activity there. I don't know if it's from a longer term standpoint or from a short term standpoint. Definitely not easy to tell on that. Let's see, that Spectral ran away from us, that Spectral margin, so we're actually going to cycle away from that, try to get on the Grazi. We did get a Scythe of Vitur. Fingers crossed that we don't get screwed on this one, guys. Smaller margin on this next Scythe of Vitur, but I really cannot take too much risk on it because we need to get this thing off for a decent price, guys. I'm pretty nervous, not going to lie. That Scythe of Vitur is making me definitely a little bit nervous. Should be okay, though. Let's try and do... I really want to try the Elysian as well, but the Elysian looks dead. There's no good margin on it. So I guess we'll just avoid that for now. And... yeah, I'm trying to look for something that's at least like a decently cheap for us to try and flip here. 221 mil. Oh yeah, these are good. We'll cycle into some Primordial Boots here, guys. Try to get maybe 8 of these. We'll see if we can get those. And of course, Jay Hefner in the chat saying, drop a like, boys. Thank you so much, Jay, man. Do appreciate it. Always supporting the channel there with the likes. And of course, if you guys enjoyed the live stream today, definitely drop a like. It really does help me out a lot. Also, if you're not with us on Discord, be sure to join us with the link in the description below. We have a Discord group dedicated to flipping and money making in old school RuneScape, and we'd love to have you in there. We also have Lighter YouTube saying, so hard to watch this when I don't even have like 1/100th of your cash stack. Lighter, man, if you are looking for some other guides on YouTube or just for your cash stack specifically, I do have a bunch of smaller cash stack guides on my channel. You can check them out to get some item ideas and specific strategies on how to flip items. But I know, of course, it is a little bit of a barrier to entry when you see someone flipping with literal max cash on the stream. So I do apologize for that. It is just my cash stack that I work with actively now that I do have it. And I do realize that it is a slight barrier to entry when it comes to making money on the Grand Exchange. But you definitely don't need max cash by any means, guys. It's not a requirement to make money. It's just, I have it, so I use it kind of deal. You know what I mean? Scythe of Vitur making me a little bit nervous, guys. We're going to hold through. And let's see, I'm trying to find some other stuff, man. We got in on that Ceradome God Sword. Immediately, the margin ran away from us. A little bit unfortunate. F in the chat for that one. We'll do a little bit of a price bump on that as well. Try to get a few more at least. Mal B there says, I have a good cash deck, but I've never flipped before. Well, Mal, welcome to the live chat today, man. You're in a good spot if you're learning how to flip in old school RuneScape. If you are very serious about it, though, definitely join us on Discord. We have a community of over 2,000 members who are dedicated to learn how to flip in old school RuneScape. But of course, since you're here live, you can ask me any questions you might have about flipping or money making in old school RuneScape, and we will definitely help you out. Now, a lot of these margins right now, guys, are just running away from me so quickly. Like, there's just a lot of volatility, it seems like, today on the market. I don't know why. Was there an update today in the game? Maybe there's something got put in that I'm not sure about, but definitely seems like there is a lot of volatility today, and it's a little bit tough, right? We are flipping at prime time, which is always hard to do, and I really need to do like an off-peak stream. I said I was going to do one, but I really have to schedule that. Tomas says, I feel very comfortable flipping items up to 11 mil, not gonna lie. Honestly, that's great, man. Definitely get comfortable in that space. Try to increase that profit. I mean, we're just absolutely ripping these primordial boots right now. Hopefully, the margin will remain on these things. Definitely a little bit questionable as far as like a profit standpoint on these things goes. We are going to take up some supply here, but we'll see if we can actually sell it off without too much of an issue, man. Hunter Elmore says, I lost 150k and now I'm discouraged. Definitely don't be discouraged, man. If you lose some money flipping, honestly, it's what we like to call on the channel the grand exchange tax, right? You are paying a little bit to play, and you're just paying a little bit of your gains to actually learn how to flip. Honestly, if I had that mindset when I started flipping and I lost a little bit of money and gave up, I mean, it would have drastically changed my RuneScape experience. I mean, I feel like nowadays I don't really struggle with money that much. I don't have to spend that much money, but just leveraging the Grand Exchange to make money and figuring out how to do that is by far the best moneymaker in old school RuneScape. You don't have to go bossing. You literally just have to look at price graphs and set items and wait. Obviously, this is active flipping, right? So it's a little bit more involved, a little bit more intensive, but it's definitely not required by any means. You can definitely do like overnight flipping or active flipping only if you're someone who likes to enjoy the game a little bit more. So I mean I don't know how much I can recommend learning how to flip. It's probably the best thing a RuneScape player could do is learn how to flip, in my personal opinion. We are getting those prim boots off pretty quickly as well. Mal B there says, are you using GE Tracker to check margins? I'm using the OSRS price wiki because I really like their live price updating, but GE Tracker is an amazing tool as well that you can use, and both are really solid options, honestly. Still waiting on that Scythe. A little bit questionable from a price standpoint, but we're going to hold it. Hunter Elmore says, I'm trying to learn from your videos today. So glad to hear it, Hunter, man. Welcome to the channel, by the way, dude. Appreciate it. Drawing says, if you flip 10 hours a day, how much do you think you can make? It really depends, man. Maybe like average about 4 mil an hour if I'm trying to be efficient, not streaming. So like 40 mil maybe. I think we did a 24-hour live stream where I made like 33 mil, which was a while back. I don't think I had this exact stack, but that was a pretty good performance, if you ask me. Drew S says, I'm doing Jad task on the main and flipping on the alt. That's also another great way to do it as well. Have that alt account to go ahead and flip items. Really interesting session today, guys. I'm trying to get in on some of these items here, but having a lot of difficulty doing so. A lot of prices are running away from us very fast, so we do need to keep that in mind here today. Maybe we'll cycle out of, the Twisted Bow here. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that the Ceradome God Swords are definitely not working out for us here today, so we're going to sell off the one that we do have and try to move on to another item. Will you do a few bulk items? What do you mean by like bulk items? Like high volume stuff? I mean, maybe we might be able to do some of that. Hunter says, I'm not at your level yet. I don't really understand bigger items like barrows and stuff. I get the bulk margins. Okay, so yeah, high volume stuff. I mean, yeah, we can do high volume stuff. I mean, it's relatively straightforward. It's not something I really do too much on stream these days, just because I kind of have like, I'm kind of past the high volume stage. I mean, the only reason I don't like flipping high volume now is because with larger cash stacks and active margins or like real-time margins, it's not as effective to flip those high volume items like it used to be. But we can definitely do a high volume flip for you. We'll go in on these battle staffs here, see if we can work out on those well. They are advertising a pretty decent margin for us today, and we'll see if we can make a little bit of money on it today. We did do a manual price check on that, which is possibly a thing of the past, man, those manual price checks. Again, though, we did fill that Twisted Bow really fast here. We'll see if we can sell this one off for a decent profit. I'm actually a little bit nervous about getting this one off, but we'll see what happens. And that Scythe of Atur does look like it did actually have a decent sell offer here. So I'm actually excited to see that. Gonna up the price on that last Scythe of Atur. Gonna try to sell it for a little bit more, actually. I do expect an upward trend on that Scythe. Maybe make a little bit of money on that. We have Snack Food popping in saying, yo, good to see you, Snack Food, man. Thank you for tuning in today. Always good to see you. And welcome back, man. I saw your video out today, man. Do appreciate that. Guys, if you haven't seen Snack Food OSRS, definitely go check out his channel. But only if he promises to keep uploading, because he was on a little bit of a hiatus. I'm calling him out. Hopefully, he's got some videos in the pipeline for us. Very entertaining creator, though. Let's go ahead and let's see. Check our margins here, and we could do the face guard. Actually looks decent right now. I would maybe like to get in on a few of those at the cheap price here, and we'll see if we can just buy a few and go from there. Honestly, we'll get 4 of those listed, ready to do their thing. We can only do 3 because my cash deck is small. Okay, 2 because it's ultra small, and we'll let that do its thing. Do I need to look at graphs? Hunter, if you are flipping high volume items, you do not need to look at price graphs. You only really need to look at price graphs when, for example, you're flipping something that's a little bit lower volume, right? Scythe of Atur, Twisted Bow, those kinds of items you need to look at graphs for, or at least keep graphs in mind or trends in mind when you are flipping those items. A little bit nervous on this Twisted Bow because it is cycling back down in price. Clearly, someone is dumping a few of them right now, but we're gonna hold it. We'll see what happens. I do think that this Scythe is actually gonna swing back in our direction, though. I do many in the pipeline. Good to hear, Snack. The Spookus says, did you notice the margins shrinking after Runelight's collab with the OSRS Ricky on real-time prices? Yes, definitely active flipping margins are a lot smaller and they're a lot tighter, and items they actually do have some decent price swings, but the margins are definitely a lot tighter. Excuse me, most of the time. So that is something you need to keep in mind when you are flipping. And there's definitely, holy moly, Saraha coming in with the $4. Amazing, man. He says, ooga booga. Thank you so much, Queen, man. And good to see you as well. Snack and Queen popping into the chat today. Always good to see you guys. Definitely go check out Queen Saraha as well. Similar situation to Snack, on a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm sure he's coming back soon with some awesome flipping content as well. Great creator. Definitely check him out. This is embarrassing, though, Queen and Snack, because this session is very bad today. Usually we do a little bit better than this, but it's always a hit or miss when it comes to flipping on the exchange. And right now, if these items, the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Atur, do swing a little bit in our favor, this could be a nice little profit on the line. So we'll be a little bit patient with it, all right? I guess we'll do a little bit less. Yeah, it should sell. I think that'll sell. Do you pay the GE Tracker to do flips? No, I don't pay GE Tracker. Whew. Anyway, hopefully some of this stuff sells off here, guys. A little bit stuck on some of this. It's never fun to be stuck on some items when you're live streaming some flips, right? Never a good feeling, but again, not something we have to be too concerned about from a risk standpoint. I have very strong confidence that the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Atur are going to go in our favor with just a little bit of patience. So we'll wait it out. We'll wait out the storm. We'll see what happens. Also need to adjust the price on these Prim Boots. No big adjustments on that, though. Scythe under 600 mil. When did that happen? It's been under 600 mil for quite some time. Maybe a month and a half or so. Are Zenites good flips? Not the Zenite itself, I don't find to be a good flip, but the Zenite jewelry is definitely a great flip. But of course, guys, if you are enjoying the stream as well today, drop a like. It really does help me out a lot. Let me know what you thought of my most recent video that went live today at 12 p.m. Eastern. I think it's a really good one, guys. Honestly, I put in a lot of effort to it, and the view count on that video so far definitely checks out to that. So I really appreciate you guys checking that out, dropping a comment on it. It seems like you guys really like that passive investing strategy that I've been building out over the past couple of weeks. Was very excited to release that to you guys. Trust me. I was like, I feel like this one's going to be really good, and it's going to help out a lot of those players if you haven't seen it. If you're someone who likes to play the game a lot more or just has an alt account that they don't use that often, it's definitely the best way to go ahead and just kind of set some flips on the exchange and forget, man. Because you don't really have to maintenance the flips that often, maybe once every week, 2 weeks. Very simple strategy to implement, and honestly, it can make you a lot of bank. I'm making about 3 mil a week on the very, very low off that strategy, so, and without touching the offers. So it's definitely a very strong flipping technique. But regardless, let's go back and sell these battle staffs here. They should sell for their original margin, just because the battle staffs are quite a high volume item, so the tight margins do fluctuate slightly, but not that much from a value standpoint. We have Peppa Chicken popping in. He says, haven't been here in a while. I see the streams get more views now. That's great. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Peppa Chicken, man. Thank you for tuning in today. And yeah, you haven't been here in a minute, man. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully life is treating you well. And yeah, the streams are doing amazing, man. Better than ever. Also, we're still at 2 mil, which is actually a very embarrassing profit point, so we do need to try and make a little bit more money here today. I'm not very happy about the Scythe of Eternity and the Twisted Bow, just from a time standpoint. These things are taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, so we need to maybe try to get in on some faster flips. That's kind of going to be my focus here. And, oh wait, I just saw a good flip, and it ran away from me. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. We'll try and do this really quick. Let me see where that margin was. Okay. Looks like we got a decent margin here on the bludgeon. Hopefully it does hold for us, though. Looks good if we execute it there. If I get 300k, I'm happy, lol, says Haggard. Well, the thing is if you hold the Twisted Bow or the Scythe for just a little bit longer on that time frame, you can make way more money. So you really want to play into those price shifts that the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Ventura do have, and they are a little bit less aggressive of a price swing. So again, that Twisted Bow right now is running away from us, which is unfortunate, but we'll hold strong, guys. Also, the Dragon Hunter crossbow here, we're going to sell that back. Should sell relatively easily. Should be a little bit of money on that. 2 mil is almost how much I got all day. Feels bad, man. Well, I mean, typically usually we're doing like 4 mil an hour, I would say on average with these new real-time prices. That seems about standard for me, but not today. So it definitely feels a little bit lower from my side from a profit standpoint as well. But I mean, you win some, you lose some, right? And my scythe is still a little bit too high. We're still in a profitable margin on it, but we just cannot get this thing off. And the Primordial Boots finished up on those. Happy with that. New free-to-play content released today. Oh, man. No members updates, man? Come on. They're slacking on the members content, man. I'm telling you. So badly, I had to make a whole video on it. Where else can we get some money here today? Looking through my Grand Exchange list, trying to look at what's going to be a decent profit here. This is definitely going to be one of the tougher ones to actually go ahead and hit, just because it has become a way more popular flip now that real-time prices are available. When this item before, it really didn't have that much competition on it, in my experience. But that's going to be the Ancestral Robe Top. Definitely have a lot more competition on this than I used to, and we can only get one, unfortunately. Feels bad, man. We'll check out the, let's see. Bludgeon is still looking decent. We're still on margin for that, so I think we just wait that one out. Jay says, I like the free-to-play content. Well, here's the thing. Like, I would like to think that most real-time, long-term OSRS players are probably not free-to-play players, just from my standpoint. So I really hope that some members content will come. That's all I'm saying. I mean, give it to the people who are paying for the game, right? Jay says there's possibly some hidden lore in there, possibly connected to Quest 150. Look, I've got a question for you guys, okay? Do you care about the lore in RuneScape? Do you care about the world of Gielinor and the whole story behind it? Some people, they're really into the lore in the MMOs. Personally, for me, let me just get the quest done, okay? I don't want to read about it. I don't know any lore in RuneScape. I really have no idea what goes on here. I'm just the messenger, you know what I mean? But yeah, do you care about the lore? Let me know in the chat. Like, honestly, I could care less. Now, we are going to go back in on another scythe because I am a maniac and I would like to flip it another time. This isn't Dark Souls, lacks the intrigue. Even, you know, I don't really care about lore in any video games, to be honest. It's a bit hard to find good margins in the mid-game items now. What's up, Zardon, man? Good to see you. Definitely a lot harder because of competition, right? People can see real-time prices at any point in time on those mid-tier items. So you have to change up your strategy a little bit to actually accommodate for that. And it's not impossible, but there's still profit to be made, definitely, in that standpoint. But it's definitely a lot harder. Would definitely agree with that. And that's why having a larger cash stack is very beneficial to actually making that money, right? Because the more money you have, the less competition you can find on items. And, oh no. The twisted bow. It's coming down on us, man. I don't like the way that looks. I don't like it. I don't like it. We did get a pretty good deal on that twisted bow, though. So I don't think it's something we have to be too concerned about. We should be able to sell it for here. It's not going to be any huge loss on that twisted bow, I'm hoping. Fingers crossed on that. Can't guarantee that. But at least we're almost at a 3 mil profit. Now it's a little bit better, as long as we don't lose too much on this twisted bow. Currently looking at about 100k loss if we can get it off for around the sell price. Again, we would definitely cycle back in for a cheaper price. Unfortunately, we didn't get this one twisted bow in where we wanted from a profit standpoint. But we do have to sell these battle staves off as well. This is a high volume flip that we are kind of neglecting here. So let's check the margin on that again really quick, see what we're looking at there. And it has come down a little bit on us, which is interesting. So what we're going to do is actually list it for about 10 GP over the margin, because that's where it was trading around before. And what we'll do is we'll actually go back in on the battle staff for a little bit cheaper from a margin standpoint. And what we're trying to do here is average in for a cheaper price, try to balance out where we bought our buy price, and just sell that back to the exchange for a profit in the end. And it already looks like those battle staves are filling out for a cheaper price. So again, hoping we can actually get some for cheaper and make it a little bit better. Dumped my entire 30 million into Swordfish at 347 and it crashed hard. How long do you think it will take for the market to correct? You know, could be years. I mean, it really depends. There's really no... Here's the problem is... People are always trying to like predict the market, right, in RuneScape, and in real life too. People try to predict these markets, but there's really no telltale sign when the market will stop crashing or when it will start to crash. So the best way to tell in old school RuneScape is if there is a healthy update horizon, then you will be looking at a standpoint where, hey, these items are probably going to go back up because there's going to be more people playing the game and there's going to be more demand for these items. When bots constantly ravage the game and there's really not a lot of players to drive that demand, supply for these items will come down a lot. And that's probably what happened in your situation on the Swordfish there, 1776. So I would keep that in mind. Now, should you hold on to them or should you take the loss? It's really up to you. I don't know how big the loss is. That's definitely something that you will have to decide for yourself. But personally, for me, I think you should take it as a lesson. You should not be investing your 30 mil cash stack ever in old school RuneScape. You should never make an investment if you don't have enough money to active flip or flip in other ways on the Grand Exchange. You're not using your capital from a good standpoint if that's what you're doing. You're actually being pretty inefficient with it. So try to learn from the situation. I'm not trying to roast you. I've done the same thing in the past. So I'm just trying to tell you from what I've learned and the mistakes I've made. And never invest all your money into an item. First of all, maximum you want to invest in an item, in my opinion, in a video game is about 50%. And I wouldn't even think about investments until you've got about like at least 2 bill cash stack, like legitimately. I have a 3 bill stack and I rarely think about investments unless I think it's a very prime opportunity, and I definitely don't invest on value. We have a video about RuneScape investing mistakes. You might want to check that one out, 1776, because it talks about not buying into items just when they're cheap and actually looking for other greater opportunities where you can make a lot of money. So definitely will hold. Okay, then it could be a while. Hold the line on that. But who knows? It could also be, you know, it could be a while, or it could be a week, like, or it could be tomorrow the price goes up. You just really never know, man. But best of luck on the investment, dude. Definitely let me know how it goes. By the way, guys, if you're not with us on Discord, definitely join us with the link in the description below. We have a Discord dedicated to flipping and money making in old school RuneScape, and we'd love to have you join it. They should have tried to add those beginner quests before the Steam release, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, Jay, definitely, man. Or alongside the Steam release. Might have been a good idea. For example, Planks went down weeks ago, never came back. Dang. Feels bad, man. Yeah, rest in peace, this Twisted Bow. Absolutely getting decimated again. Currently down about... I think that kills all of our profit. If we sold it at its current level, I think we'd be down, let's see... about 3 mil on that Twisted Bow. So yeah, we'd be at a negative if we sold it at this price. We're going to hold that. It's a big flash crash going on right now, likely to rebound, especially over a couple hours. So I don't think we have to worry too much about it. Definitely going to be one of those things we got to sell off stream. But it would be nice if we could get the Scythe of Atur off here. And hopefully that Twisted Bow doesn't ruin my life. There's a Scythe. Okay, at least we're making a little bit of money on that Scythe on the side. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a great situation on it, but hey. I want to try an overnight flip today, but I'm scared because I'm new at this flipping thing. If you're new to flipping, Mal, you definitely want to try to focus on your active flipping first to get your active flipping down before exploring overnights. Now, if you are wanting to get into overnights, what I would suggest... Oh my god! The Twisted Bow! RIP! Holy... I think we're down 5 mil now since I was just talking. Crazy, dude. Oh my lord. Well, I wish I had a little bit more cash on hand to try and get another one. That's too bad. That's really too bad. Let me think. Can I pull enough money together to get one? Maybe. Hold on. Let's try it. Let's try and get this Abyssal Bludgeon back first, though. Holy moly, the Twisted Bow is dying right now. Literally, rest in peace, my stack, bro. Regardless, though, I'm hoping it bounces. We'll have to hold a little bit here through the pain. It's one of those crashes where things are really aggressively crashing right now, right? And when things are super aggressive, you know, from a volume standpoint, you have to keep in mind that when it bounces, it's going to bounce hard as well. Going to be a lot of selling and a lot of buying. There's tons of volume on it right now. I bet if I pulled up the Twisted Bow on the side, we'll see like double the average volume right now for sure. We'll have to see where this Twisted Bow goes. I mean, currently we bought in at about $1.045 billion, and currently it's trading about $1.040 billion. So definitely down about 5 mil on that as we speak. Very interesting situation on that. Now, it is kind of like the situation where we held that Elysian Spirit Shield through like a 40 mil crash. Very similar experience to that, except like I said earlier, the fluctuations on the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Atur, they can be aggressive, but they're not as aggressive as some of these other even lower volume items. Weekends are great for overnights. Honestly, every day is great for overnights. You just have to adjust your listings to accommodate for the specific price points. And it definitely fluctuates. You know, a lot more activity on the weekends, a lot more volatility all around. And definitely a more profitable point if you can get in for a cheaper price and sell back for obviously a lot more. Now, these battle staffs still giving us a run for our money here. We're going to see where these things are trading around. Okay, so they're starting to come back up in price. Probably wasn't a great example for me to do on a higher volume item just because they are a little bit competitive, but anyway. Morris says, my guy, how you doing, Beast? Good to see you, Morris, man. Thank you for tuning in today. We're doing okay. I mean, currently we're riding the rodeo on the Twisted Bow, which does look like it is starting to rebound, guys. Very good. We have someone buying in at the $1.042 billion GP price point, so up 2 mil from the lowest point. So we currently are probably down about 3.5 mil on that Twisted Bow. So looking a lot better on that. Going to hold our offer here in anticipation of that bounce. Could be a short-term bounce. I don't think it's going to be a reversal in price or anything like that. Definitely going to be a lower price point on that Twisted Bow for the next couple of days, I would think, but probably going to rotate up again. 420 Dragon on a crossbow flips. Guess we got lucky on that number, man. Just waiting here for these items to come on through. Okay, another Twisted Bow dump again, back down to about a 5 mil loss on that. Unrealized loss, though, because we haven't sold the Twisted Bow yet. But if we sell it for this price point, it's only 100k loss. So we'll keep that in mind. Again, I think it's going to be one of those items, unfortunately, that will get sold off stream. But if I sell it for a lot less, guys, I'll let you know on the Discord, okay? So if we take like a 30 mil loss, I'll let you know on the Discord. But I'm going to hold this through. I think there's really no concern. Definitely there's hard resistance at the 1 bill price point on that Twisted Bow. So I'm fine risking a decent bit of GP here. And I really don't think we're going to rotate all the way down to about a 1 bill. That would be pretty shocking in my opinion. And it does look like a very irrational crash. No reason for the Twisted Bow to crash. Likely just going to bounce again and go back up in price, if you ask me. Because there's no update horizon, right? Why would the Twisted Bow keep crashing? I don't see anything on the horizon that would actually, make that be the case. So I'm not too worried about it. Should swing back in our favor. With a little bit of luck, of course. And, yeah, I definitely wish I could flip another Twisted Bow, though. Can we? Do we have enough? We might be a little bit short on that. We're ever so slightly short. We might be able to get a little bit more money from the exchange here, guys. Hold on. There we go. Reload it up for the Twisted Bow. Let's go in for another one, guys. Definitely a sketchy situation nonetheless. We're going to buy this Twisted Bow for like 1.5 mil under the current margin. I do see some resistance at about 1 billion and 40 million, but at the same time, we need a premium deal if we're going to get in on another Twisted Bow. So we're going to take a little bit more risk here. We'll stream for a couple more minutes and see if we can get some more, another Twisted Bow in. But again, could be a little bit risky. I like taking risk though. Yeah, I mean, here's like, in my opinion, the markets are crashing, right? Because there's no update horizon. There's nothing in the game that's coming that's going to be too crazy from like a prop or from like a gameplay standpoint. There's no real updates coming. So nothing to look forward to, nothing for the players to really get engaged with, and a lower player count in general, right? So a lot less demand, but the remaining supply across most items. 2 hour today? No, probably not 2 hours, but we'll go for like another couple minutes here. But I will make up that hour, I promise. I promise. I always do, man. I always do. Yeah, I guess we're gonna wait for that Twisted Bow. I don't think it's gonna buy in this time, but it might. You never know. By the way, guys, how are you doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing well. What have you been flipping today, by the way? I always like to know what you guys are flipping in RuneScape, so definitely let me know in the live chat. What are you flipping? Has it been a good day for you from a profit standpoint? Always like to know that as well. For us today, a little bit on the weaker side, definitely 3.6 mil. Not terrible, but definitely not a stellar performance by any means. I would be a little bit ashamed getting a 3.6 mil session if I was flipping alone. I always try to aim for that like 4 mil at least session profit. If I'm getting like 5.5, 6 mil, then I'm feeling pretty good about myself. And obviously anything over that is just incredible gains and usually a little bit rare, I would say. We have Grubby saying, oh my goodness, Grubby, man, good to see you. It's definitely been a minute. He says, hey man, how's it going? It is going very well. Thank you, Grubby. Just doing some flipping here today. 3.6 mil in profit so far. Not amazing, but not terrible. It does look like possibly the Twisted Bow is rotating back up in price. We'll have to see. Jim OSRS says, big brain move. Oh, of course, of course. Only the biggest brains of moves on this live stream. Tomas says, I don't quite get this. I think the flipping plugin is bugged. Profit went down and I know I didn't take any loss. Sometimes it does bug out, so I would just keep that in mind. Zardon says he tried flipping some cheap and passive items. That's awesome, man. Definitely a lot of power behind those passive flips, in my experience. I mean, passive flips are great because you just don't have to maintenance them that much. Like, there's a lot more chill, a little bit of a longer time frame. It's kind of similar to an overnight. Oh, I also forgot. I set overnights last night, and since I haven't really been flipping, I forgot to check them this morning. Luckily, I did walk away with about I think it was like a 3.5 mil profit, so nothing crazy. Pretty solid overnight gains, but nothing to brag about, really. I would hope I'd get a little bit more than that going forward, but the items didn't really swing as much as I was hoping, so anyway. It's kind of pathetic. Jackies can't pump out any updates with how crazy their profit margin is at the company. It's just a little bit unfortunate that we don't really have a great update horizon, in my opinion. We do have the roadmap, but the roadmap does not really contain any new RuneScape content. It does contain some good updates, like, sure, combat achievements, that's a good update. Group Iron Man, that's a good update, but it doesn't really bring us new content, right? No bosses on the horizon, no PVM, no Raids 3, haven't heard anything about that. Just a little bit sad. Thoughts on coconuts or tormented items? I like to flip the Zenite stuff. I've never flipped coconuts, though. Balance update. Oh, yeah. Where'd the balance update go, man? If the T-bow is stable for a few days, would you ever try going to sleep and putting an offer in for 5 mil under margin? Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, here's the thing with a Twisted Bow, right? Usually, you're going to fill it for that, like, 4 to 5 mil range overnight. But sometimes, the Twisted Bow does things like this, right? Where it crashes, like, 20 mil overnight. And that's when you get screwed. But, yeah, I mean, I would not have any, any fear about listing 4 or 5 mil under. Definitely not. If anything, it might not fill. I mean, the Twisted Bow is pretty stable. Except when things like this happen, which, of course, is always a risk to it as well. But that's the nature of overnight flipping, man. The lower you go, the more profit you're going to make, but the less likely it's going to hit. I think with the markets, guys, before you decide to make any kind of investments or anything, you really need to see the margins rotate upwards. You need to see a lot of investment from players in general, a nice, healthy update horizon. Just keep that in mind, guys. We also have Repulsive GS. Don't think I've seen you around here, man. Good to see you. He says, what do you use to see active prices? I just use the OSRS price wiki. I go on the favorites tab and scroll through there, see what's looking good, and I do go ahead and flip that stuff. Having a hard time letting go of this dynamite I stocked before the crash. Rest in peace to the dynamite gang. I think someone in our Discord had like 10 mil dynamite once. But I don't think it was a profitable flip, if I remember correctly. Anyway, Horse Detective, man, that stinks though, bro. Hopefully you're not down too much on that dynamite. And if you're not down that much, maybe consider selling it and just trying to get some more active profits. Definitely not a fun situation to be in. How many Twisted Bows do you think are in the game? I don't know. I'd have to look at the daily volume on the Twisted Bow and then try to guess from there. I honestly could not tell you. Probably a good bit. Okay, it doesn't look like we're really going to have a lot of luck on this Twisted Bow here today. Definitely some good margins all around, though. Let me see. Oh, this next Twisted Bow is rotating down a little bit. Might have some luck on it. We're actually going to set an offer on this Twisted Bow and leave it for a few hours here. I got to remember to actually sell this back before I go to sleep, though, if I can. 10K, probably more. Probably like 25K at least. No, I think there's a lot more Twisted Bows than you think. That would be my guess. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the volume. I think there's like 1,000 traded a day, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to end the stream here, guys. We did get a 3.6 mil profit today. Nothing incredible, but again, at least we didn't lose a ton of money today because that was definitely a risk we were looking at earlier on today. We're going to leave the current Twisted Bow we have in, and we're going to try to buy another Twisted Bow for about 20 mil underneath its current margin, hoping it swings in our way. He says, I just like the sparking combo. Enjoy the rest of your day, legend. Thank you, Morris, and thank you to everybody else who tuned into the live stream today. Drop a like over on YouTube if you are enjoying as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I will definitely make up that hour I missed on Monday. I promise. And thank you guys for watching. Oh, go check out that new video, by the way, as well. I did put in a lot of effort into that passive investing guide. I think it is a very solid video, so definitely recommend that. And join us on Discord if you're not with us already, and I'll see you all in the next one.